listeners out there to hit it hard and hit it far.
Cut her down in half, right?
Well, that's wet shot. Cut the wet shots down in half and hit the driver's side long and hard.
All right, gentlemen, episode 21.
Legal to drink now.
The whole podcast. We've been drinking. We haven't been drinking. So our first rule is no politics, and look what this guy's got on over here. He's campaigning for Woods Manning at 20. Write-in ballot.
He's reeled him in with horrible dad jokes.
Yeah. So before we get started, we always talk about this after, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll do it next time. So if you're listening on Apple Podcast, we are on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, we are on Apple Podcast. We are also on Spotify.
Yep.
So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. If you choose that avenue, you can also subscribe, I believe, on Apple.
Yes.
I don't know how Spotify works.
Spotify, you can subscribe as well.
Okay. So there it is. Whether you listen or look at our beautiful faces, do one of the other. Meow. Okay?
Roger that.
All right. We actually got shit to talk about this week.
We got quite a bit.
Yeah. Let's talk about the greatest athlete ever, possibly Joey Chestnut. Can you believe this guy? I mean, he broke his own record.
Yep.
75 hot dogs.
He clearly wanted that record, too, because he beat second place by like 35 hot dogs.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
close.
He could have taken the last 3 or 4 minutes off and still won.
Now, did you ever watch the 30 for 30 on him?
I think I watched bits and pieces of it.
With him and Kobayashi,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize there was all these exclusive rights, and he can't compete in some stuff, because I wanted to see the two of them go at it.
Dude, he was Joey Chestnut was in Buffalo. I think he won the wing contest probably 5-6 years ago.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I couldn't remember how many times he'd won the hot dog eating contest, so I was trying to look it up today. This is 13th time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look that up right now.
And if you look him up and you go to Wikipedia, there's a whole list of contests he's won in the past. I didn't want to write them all down. I didn't have much paper. But there was a couple here I'd like to highlight. I want your guys' reaction. In 2006, he ate 118 jalapeno poppers in 10 minutes.
Dude,
You know what kind of... I just shit in a bucket of ice.
I said, do you know what my asshole would feel like the next day?
Holy smoke.
Well, not the next day, like 2 hours after.
I got to assume eating them after like the first 10 or 15, your mouth just goes numb and it's no worse. But yeah, coming out the next day is...
Or the next couple days.
No fun. Yeah, that's true.
You eat that many, they're not all coming out at once.
No.
2007, he ate 182 chicken wings, long version, in 30 minutes at the Philly Wing Bowl, which now I want to attend. Chicken wings everywhere?
182.
182 in 30 minutes.
That's
a lot of wings.
I was trying to remember. So, when I was in college, the ROTC program at school I went to, and then the ROTC at the rival school, they used to always, at the basketball game, they used to always have like 3 or 4 ROTC members from each one, and they'd see who could eat the most number of wings. And I forget, like, it was like 5 or 6 minutes because it was at halftime. But I think they would only eat like 100 between the 4 of them.
That's still a lot.
Well, yeah.
Oh, between the 4 of them. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's like 25 a person in like 4 or 5 minutes.
I'm perusing the list you were talking about at the moment.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
This is ridiculous.
2013, 121 Twinkies in 6 minutes.
Dude.
I just found the most
And
ridiculous
he now has
one, so-
diabetes. Well, let me see if I have it on here. If not,
yeah.
2017, 55 glazed donuts in 8 minutes.
Dude, I cannot imagine.
55 glazed.
They got to be
donuts in
really
8 minutes.
airy.
You'd be in a coma because you have diabetes.
Well, that's true. I wouldn't.
That's the most doable so far. I think I give him a run for his money.
This one, I'm like, how do you not have brain freeze? 2018, 25 and a half ice cream sandwiches in 6 minutes.
Man,
Dude, I feel like I eat like one ice cream bar in like 2 minutes, and I'm like done
Full.
for the count.
And then this year, he had 32 Big Macs in 38 minutes.
I don't even want to eat one Big Mac in 38 minutes.
32 Big Macs. It's almost, that's, oh. What was the one you highlighted?
In 2014, at the Foxwood Resorts Casino in Ledyard, Connecticut, he ate a whole 9.35-pound turkey in 10 minutes.
He's not invited to Thanksgiving, by the way.
That's crazy.
A whole turkey.
That's what it says.
There's another one on there. He ate, like I can't remember.
Is a turkey breast or does it got the bone on? You got to like peel around it.
He's just yakking on a bone.
Oh my god.
There was one on there. He ate like 9.2 pies in a pie eating contest in like 8 minutes.
Dude, some of the
This is crazy.
some of the contests they have, and it's like, why would you sign up for that? First
He had
of
a
all,
6-pound burger one time.
18 pounds, 9.6 ounces of shrimp cocktail in 8 minutes. That's the most random thing ever.
wait, but do you have to eat the shrimp with the cocktail sauce every time, or do you have to like eat the
Probably.
shrimp and then drink the cocktail sauce and rinse
He
it
probably
down?
just said dip it real quick, but that's no.
You can fit how much? 18 pounds.
18 pounds, 9.6
I say you could grab what
ounces.
4 or 5 shrimp at a time, but still, that's I don't know how many shrimp are in a pound. It's got to be
Does he detur them first?
right.
Do you have to peel them? Or you just biting them off?
You spit the shell out.
15 bowls of gumbo in 8 minutes.
That's a burning asshole the next day too.
Yeah.
He is currently ranked number 1 in the world by the Major League Eating.
Is there like a world ranking? Like he's like 9.8, kind of like golf, and like second place is like 6.4.
Like roll ranking points.
I don't know how they. Major League Eating was founded in 1997 in New York City.
Who come up with that? Guys,
Richard Shea did.
I got a great idea. Let's see who can eat more, and it's on. Have you guys ever done an eating contest or a challenge?
No, I haven't. I used to watch some of the ones on Food Network.
The Man versus Food.
There was Man vs. Food, and then there was another one spin off of that, and it was disgusting.
Well, I always think about, isn't there a place? I've never been to Vegas, but there's a restaurant out there. I'm pretty sure you like order if you're over like 350.
Yeah,
like you eat free.
There's a scale outside.
Yeah, and
Heart
it's-
attack.
Heart
Yeah.
Attack Grill.
And
Yes.
then it's like 6-pound burger, and if you don't eat it, then you get spanked.
I don't remember all those details, but
Yeah,
yeah.
Were you there? Adam? That's something you want to tell us?
I've never been to Vegas.
I know that, like Buffalo Wild Wings has a wing challenge,
Yeah.
but
We've
the only
been
other
there a couple times when they've done it.
I used to work with a guy. They owned a diner in PA, and they had a food challenge. It was like some sort of like breakfast food. It was like an omelet, pancakes, some other stuff, and all of it sounded like not a chance. But how many hot dogs do you think you guys could eat in 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Well, first of all, I couldn't dip them in the water.
Dip in a bun. Yeah, I was just saying, dip in the bun in water. I feel like that would make me want to throw up.
I might throw up instantly when I stick the wet bun in my mouth.
This is getting awkward.
Yeah.
Buns,
I-
wieners.
I'm gonna say 7.
I think I could go 1 a minute and get 10.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe 8. I don't know.
We should try it. Maybe we have a hidden talent. We can beat Joey Chestnut.
I definitely don't do it. I would throw up, and I could eat like 5 hot dogs in 10 minutes and then throw up after.
I don't even think if you told me I could eat it without the bun, I probably put about 20 down maybe without the bun, but
Right.
that's about it.
Nowhere's near 75.
Right. And could they cut it up for me first? That way I can just
Oh,
pop them in my mouth.
some mac and cheese with it too while we're at it. I just got an update. I don't know. This is kind of off topic, but ESPN alert that Mike Perry is out of the UFC until he gets help. I don't know if you saw that video.
I did.
I did
Yeah.
not.
I didn't.
I just liked your "this is off topic" comment.
Yeah.
Like somebody just texted you about Joey
Yeah.
Chestnut and his hot dogs.
Breaking news per my sources. Yeah, there was he was in I'm assuming it's Florida. He lives in Florida, I believe.
Yeah.
He was, he was getting kicked out of a bar. He was mad at some guy. He was drunk. And he was arguing. And okay, first of all, yes, Mike Perry needs help. He really does.
Yeah.
That was based off the interview he did after his last fight. You got to
Yes.
talk about the IRS, okay?
Yes.
But watching that video yesterday, tell me what you think. Was he drunk? Yeah. Would he probably have left and been like, yeah, whatever? He would have cooled off. It was the older fat dude who provoked him,
Right.
and then decided to take 4 steps towards him to shove him, and Perry knocked him out. Probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
The guy was mocking him. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna call the police," and then he took like 4 steps towards him, and Perry's like, "Whack." I mean, I'm pretty sure he touched Perry first.
Yes, from the video, I think it was.
But yeah, he just and then he was with his girlfriend, and the joke of the day is he's 2-0 with her in his corner. Okay, yeah, we had a small wind tunnel going.
That's
through
what
our
we're hearing?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we're like cut out. Yeah,
Allie's adjusting her
Thank
fan.
you.
thank you.
Now I'm gonna need a shower halfway in between.
We should
here.
just get her a chair right there so she can start doing our stats and then.
No.
Want
I'm surprised
sandwich?
I thought we might get a dad joke about fans watching us tonight or something like that.
Oh, giggity.
I didn't even have to. He did it for me.
Yeah. We're trying to beat you to the punch.
We do have a fan in the corner because it's literally 500 degrees outside
I
today.
can't even. I mean, I don't know if I can fit an air conditioner in any of these windows down. I've thought about it.
Well,
It'd be.
we could cut a hole. We could cut the hole bigger. My goodness.
I know a guy who can make that window bigger.
I don't want to know that you know a guy. All right, we'll move on from there. And let's talk about Patty Mahomes. Before we talk about Patrick Mahomes, there's been something we've neglected in football and contracts that we've talked about
good reason.
forever. And then all of a sudden when it happened, we just didn't talk about it. And it was Dak did sign his franchise tag like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we did talk about that for like 3 different episodes and then ignore it when he actually signed.
When he actually signed like for $31 million.
Still, we don't care about the cowgirls.
Ooh. Incoming text from Jamie. So Mahomes, $450 million over 10 years. This is an extension. So he's still on his current contract for the next 2 years. Next 2 years actually is he's supposed to be $2.8 million this year.
Okay.
And then next year, $24.8 million. That's weird how that was structured.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
So he's signed for 12 more years then, what you're saying?
Yes.
So he's already under contract for 2 more.
Yeah, 2 on a current deal plus the 10 years.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so he's basically chief for 10 years. And there's a no trade clause. The contract is up to actually $503 million, $140 million guaranteed injury, no trade clause, $83 million signing bonus. That is split out for the next 3 years. $21 million, $27 million, $34 million.
Then there was I forget what they called it. Some kind of guarantees that nobody knows exactly what that means.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'd love to see the contract and read it. It's kind of all the...
Yeah, there were a couple. I forget what they called them, but there were some kind of weird guarantee mechanisms. I'm looking at it right now, and no one knows what that means.
I know he's not allowed to do some things. Like
Yeah,
he's not allowed to
and that
jet
might-
ski,
Right.
play baseball, play basketball.
That's pretty common.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
in these big deals.
Ben Roethlisberger can't ride a
Can't
motorcycle.
ride a motorcycle.
Right.
Yeah.
Jay Williams can't ride a motorcycle. Did that, ended his NBA career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's... Go ahead. I want to hear it.
So I've said there's been a lot of. I don't know if he's worth it. I don't know if anybody's worth that money. But for a quarterback, I mean, he's one good shot away from being done. Or he runs a lot. He's one tackle away from around the knee that could hurt him.
You know what the average career quarterback is? Trick question. I know the answer. I looked it up earlier. But do you guys know the average career length of a quarterback in the NFL?
5.
No.
It's 3 years. It is 3 years.
I feel like 10. I would be willing at $50 million a year. Oh boy, at $50 million a year, I would rather give that to him, or give him $60 million a year for 4 years or 5 years, than give 10 years at $500.
Right.
I'd rather do a shorter term deal for a little bit more than have 10 years.
So do you think Mahomes isn't worth the money?
Yes and no. Short term, yes.
I mean,
Long term, I don't think so.
so his past 2 seasons, he's first in passing TDs. They didn't have rushing. He's 89. He's thrown for over 10,000 yards, almost 11,000. He's got 27 wins. He's got the highest QBR rating, 79, which nobody knows how to calculate. And yards per attempt is 8.5. He leads the league in all those last 2 seasons.
So my worry is we've seen a trend of younger guys winning Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Going back to Russell Wilson. They gave him a huge contract, and then Seattle fell off the table.
Yeah.
And I think going forward, the Chiefs have, I think there's 4 or 5 guys, and they've got like $90 million tied up in those guys. And then you've got to pay another 49 guys $100 million.
So that could be the issue in Seattle. If you give Russell Wilson a short-term contract for a lot of money, you can't pay people. But if you give a quarterback 10 years and spread out that money.
I mean, they've got to hope that the salary cap keeps going up.
Yeah.
If the salary cap doesn't go up, they could be in trouble in 5 years.
So next year, I think it's a no because of what's going on now. But the following year, it should go back up.
And obviously, they don't have to worry about this until, 2023?
Yes.
So,
Yep. So I think, my opinion, over the next, let's say 5 years, I envision Patrick Mahomes being the best quarterback in football. Probably having a chance at a couple more Super Bowls, a couple more league MVPs. If we're redrafting the whole league right now, I'm giving strong consideration to him as my first overall pick.
Oh, 100%. Me too.
I still so over the next, at least 5 years, and if he stays healthy, which I know, like Adam just said, but I believe, in my opinion, that caveat of he's one shot of his career ending, you could argue that about any football player.
right.
But I could see over the next 10 years him being the best quarterback in the league for that span of 10 years. I still don't believe any athlete is worth $50 million a season, especially in a league where there's a salary cap.
Right.
So
I think Mahomes is worth a lot of money. He's worth a lot to the Chiefs. I mean, they're coming off a Super Bowl and a very good year prior to that. I don't think it's a good contract for Mahomes. And here's why I think so. It's 10 years, you're locked in. And this doesn't take effect for another 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I get you're locked in, it's guaranteed money. It looks great on paper. What if we have the same situation in Seattle where they don't? I mean, Seattle had, good. They're contenders, but like you said, they haven't really done what they did before that contract.
Right.
What if now Kansas City, like Tyreek Hill gets hurt? Now you don't have anybody to throw to. That team goes downhill.
Yeah.
There's no telling
And
from his side that he still wants to be in Kansas City at some
Right.
point.
And at $50 million, that's hard to trade.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with the salary cap that will, like the NBA, probably continue to go up because of popularity and TV deals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not signing a 10 million, especially only 140 million of this is guaranteed. It was like 140 million or something like that was the injury guarantee or whatever. There's no trade clause. That's not 450 million guaranteed.
Right.
yeah.
What some other guys have gotten.
Right. I'm not signing that contract because you've locked yourself in that you're in 8 years from now, you're probably underpaid. Because if the salary cap continues to go up, now everybody's going to keep getting more money.
Yeah, especially because 4 or 5 years from now, he's going to be, 28?
Yeah.
Like, that's like supposedly people's prime.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And he's locked into the deal already
Exactly.
for 5 years after.
And what if Kansas City sucks?
Right.
I mean, teams, the Patriots had a great run, but how many teams have runs of 10 years where they're in the playoffs contending? I feel like most teams have good 4, 5, maybe 6 years, and then they're in that whole rebuild mode. You lose a quarterback after 3 years, and I don't know. I couldn't commit myself in today's sports. I could not commit myself to 10 years to a team. I think it's dumb on both ends for Kansas City. One, the injury, there's always a risk there. That's any NFL player.
Yep.
But if I'm the player, the answer is no, I do not want $10 million. I'll give me a 3-year extension, guarantee me some money, and then we'll talk again in a couple years and see what direction's the team heading. You got to look out for your best interest.
Right.
Because if that team sucks, his value goes down.
And think about what we've seen with Brady, right? He takes pay cuts so that they're able to spend money on a couple of guys. And that's an article I read. So Eli Manning, for a quarterback, has earned the most over his career at $252 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good for Eli.
Right. And then Mahomes is going to make double that
Well, you-
if he plays out all next 12 years.
Just off guaranteed money.
Yeah, and that's obviously all that 500 isn't guaranteed. Because that was another thing that got brought up is it said it was the richest deal in sports history, which technically it's not because that all goes off guarantee. So if he plays it all out, yes, it will be. But
that's arguing semantics to me.
Right.
It's
money's money. I mean, at what point does money become irrelevant?
right,
If you're making that much money.
yeah.
So the next highest, I did look this up, based off just guaranteed money, the next highest paid player in the NFL is actually Matt Ryan, who signed the $94 million. Where'd they get Atlanta?
right. Yeah, they're still.
Matt Ryan's going to make $30 million next year.
Yeah, when's I mean, I don't know all salaries of all quarterbacks, but I'm thinking any quarterback over 25 million, they haven't done anything. I
Right.
say over 20, but I don't know what Brady was right. I know he was right around 20, but no big money quarterbacks have been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think there's so much more. I mean, I'm not saying Mahomes isn't smart, doesn't have good people around him. I think there's more to that contract than, just the money. I mean, you got to think, excuse me, if the Chiefs suck, how many endorsements you getting?
Well, who doesn't want Kermit the Frog endorsing?
Well, is that dad joke? He talks like Kermit the
I
Frog.
don't even get that one. No.
They say he talks like Kermit the Frog.
Okay. He's clearly getting paid by Coors Light because today an Instagram post that was blasting Coors Light
Was it?
logos and was like hashtag Coors Light. So
Oh, yeah, he's getting paid by
he's
Coors Light.
definitely getting paid by them too. So
Because then he walked into a concert at Super Bowl and had Bud Light or something like that in his hand.
Yeah.
oh,
The Coors jumped on that in a hurry. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is the beer you need in your hand.
Post Malone concert, I think.
Yes. They had like a section like reserved for him. And
no.
Arnold Palmer's not paying us, by the
So
way.
if Arnold Palmer wants to sponsor us, or at least me, let us know. No luck. So you're having one too.
So yeah,
Yeah,
but
I got
congrats to Mahomes for signing that money. That's good for him. I mean, his girlfriend who doesn't do shit except for post stupid shit on Instagram who's not happy.
I'd be curious to revisit, in 5 years and what, or yeah, even 3 years after his contract starts, I guess.
Yeah.
See where KC is.
Yeah, I'm not. That's my thing.
Because I think about, obviously, we think about a bunch of guys in the past 5 years have been like, nope, I want more money. Tyreek Hill, like, how much money is he going to want when he's up for a contract, I think, next year? There's just a lot of guys. And I think they only lost 4 starters total from the Super Bowl team last year.
That's pretty good.
So, I mean, they're still sitting pretty, but, again, they haven't had to pay guys yet. So
I mean, different sport, but I know you hate the guy in LeBron. But the one smart thing LeBron did was he knew that salary caps were going to increase. So he would not sign a long-term deal. I mean, these last few years, he kept saying, I'm going to sign a 1-year deal. I'm signing a 1-year deal because we'll renegotiate after that salary cap goes up.
yeah, and obviously look at then probably the last 4 years of his career, he just took a max contract with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you hate the guy, but that is a good move.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I mean, I can't commit. I couldn't commit.
It's also easier to do that though, at his age, especially with the sponsorships he's had. He's probably already got $200 million in a bank account.
Or more.
Right.
Just from Nike. He got a lifetime contract with Nike, and he cashed out with Beats by Dre when they sold to Apple.
Right.
Yeah. So it's easier to take the 1-year deal, a little bit less money, when you've already got hundreds of millions in the bank.
Right. And at the same time, I guess even if we look at it the other way, is if Mahomes signs a 3-year deal and then in the 3rd year he gets hurt and ends his career and he only made, well, I guess in this case he made $150 million. So it's still more than it was guaranteed. But say he was only at that point he was only going to get $100 million. He's $40 million shy of what he was.
Yeah, you're making
the guarantee.
Yeah, but you're still making close to even if he does 3 years, gets hurt, he's got 140 million. That's 45 million guaranteed, pretty much. So
Yeah.
that's not that bad,
No.
right? And your career's. I mean, if you can't live off 140 million, you should probably really evaluate how you're living your life to spending your money.
Yeah.
I mean, at our age, if somebody hands me $5 million, I'm set for life. So
Yeah.
if you can't live off 140 million.
That's why we've always talked about, like, if I won the lottery and it was only $1 million, like, you could just not go to you could quit your job for like 2 or 3 years and find something later. You wouldn't have to work for a few years.
I'd quit longer than that and invest in starting my own business or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but even at $1 million, you could live quite a while.
Do you hand me $1 million? I probably would if I was working.
I mean, the thing about it,
I'd probably walk in and be like,
this kid's 2 years out of college.
Yeah.
And now he's getting $500 million.
Yeah. I also
we'll see a 30 for 30 in 20 years on how he lost it all in 15 years.
Oh, or how his girlfriend spent it all.
I think he's smarter than Mike Tyson, though.
That's true. Tyson gave away a Bentley one time.
Yeah, he did because he wrecked it and didn't want the guy to call the police.
Yeah, so he gave it. Then he went back the next day.
He gave the guy the Bentley.
So he went back the next day to the guy's house and took it from him.
Didn't Tyson make like $300 million in his career, and at one point obviously had to file for bankruptcy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so he went through hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't believe Patrick Mahomes is on that level.
No, I don't think so either.
I think
Tyson did have to get in the Hangover movies. So
now he's making money selling weed. His own cannabis farm.
I mean, I think I agree on both points. It's too long. I don't like really long sports contracts. It's one thing I like with the NHL, their CBA. You cannot, if a player's a free agent going to a different team, they can sign for a max of 7 years. And if you're re-signing with your own team, it's 8 years. So no contracts in the NHL can be longer than 8 years as of like 3 years ago. So I kind of like that. It protects teams from that one.
I would definitely take more guaranteed, less years. Yeah. I feel like I would feel like I'm protecting myself and my brand. And if that team shits the bed because they're paying me too much money and they can't put people around me, you're not winning.
Yeah. Right. And I guess we'd be in the same thing as kind of what I said earlier is even if they said, hey, Mahomes, here's $180 million for 3 years. I guess we're talking, is that guy worth $60 million a year? But
right.
I mean, for him, if he plays really well over the next 3 years, and then he could sign for even more than that for another 3 or 4 years.
If I was a player, take the hockey approach. Throw me a signing bonus. Throw me a bonus.
Yeah.
Right.
I've always kind of thought that about last year or two ago when both Bryce Harper and Manny Machado were free agents. I always thought, I know you don't like Bryce Harper, but if he could have signed with a random small market team, even let's say the Pirates. I'm a Pirates fan. Yeah. Let's say he went to Pittsburgh on like a 1 year, $50 million deal. All of his merchandise sales and things with his name on it probably would have paid for 2/3 of his contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he could have been a free agent a year later, gone somewhere else.
Do it all over again.
But had $50 million in the bank from that 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Machado. San Diego's, I guess, kind of a small market in baseball, and he went there. And obviously, being in the East Coast, we don't hear about him anymore. But
David Price is sitting up this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trout's considering it.
Yep.
I'm not going down this rabbit hole.
I know. No, I don't want to either. Trout's another example, though, contract-wise, where he just signed that extension.
For
it's like
26?
It's like a $13 million or 13-year contract extension. This was, a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly believe Mike Trout's the best player in baseball and probably will be for the next 5 years. But there's no way to predict what he'll be playing like 10 to 13 years from now.
12 years, 426.
Yeah.
That was for who? Trout.
For Trout, yeah.
That's what they were saying. So with guarantees, Cole, Harper, and Machado got double guaranteed what Mahomes got guaranteed.
Less risk of injury in baseball.
Yeah. Well,
would be my guess for the key factor.
I think
pitcher too.
I think football is the only sport where we see these contracts that are broken out between guaranteed and not guaranteed.
Yeah.
All of the sports are guaranteed money unless you retire.
Right.
So, even if Trout got hurt this season and ended his career, he still gets paid that.
Yeah.
That is guaranteed.
Yeah,
money.
that's what they were saying. He's guaranteed 420. Well, it's a little less now because they've got to take a pay cut this year, but yeah, he's still making $426 million over the next 12 years.
But that's just an example between like baseball players union and the owners, where that's just how it's structured. They don't deal with that guaranteed, not guaranteed bullshit.
Yep.
To me, a contract's a contract. Like in this case, 10 years, $508 million. Well, just make that the contract.
Right. Then I'd sign it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could suck. I don't give a suck all we want.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys. Sorry I went like 1 for 10 and missed you on that crossing around the end zone. Got to go cash my check. All right. Adam said we're going to move to golf.
All right. So,
He's got a rant.
first of all, congrats to Bryson.
Fuck that guy.
I know.
Sorry. Word vomiting. Carry on.
He played well last week, and the more I've been watching the last couple weeks since they've been back, it's kind of interesting to watch him drive the ball because he is driving it so far. I think there was a par 4 that was like 397. He was like within 20 yards of the green 3 out of the 4 rounds last week. And I think it'll be interesting to watch him next week at Muirfield because he's not playing this week at Muirfield.
Right.
Because there's a couple holes a lot guys are laying up with, long irons at like 250 because it's like a 310 carry over water.
It's a little tighter, too. Than
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to watch
Detroit
him that way.
Golf Club.
But please, Bryson, when a cameraman is following you
He's going to go
on
I wanted to. Oh,
on 13, right? I think it was on the 13th hole.
I feel the heat come out of my collar.
He hit a bad shot, and then he complained to the cameraman because he could ruin his brand. Bryson, the cameraman's job is to film you. Your job is to play golf.
And not be an asshole.
Quit worrying about your brand. First of all, if the cameraman's ruining your brand, it's actually you ruining your brand,
Right.
not the cameraman.
Yeah.
How do you think all these athletes, Tiger, Jordan, LeBron, that have a camera in their face nonstop feel? That is your fault. I watched Rom, who we complain about a lot
He's a crybaby.
today. He hit a shot off a tee that was 80 yards right of the fairway. Had to hit a provisional. Slammed his club. I didn't see him going to the cameraman complaining because the cameraman
Caught it
videoed
on
him
camera.
after. Yeah.
And I think DeChambeau's quote was, even though we're playing in the public eye, we deserve our moment of privacy out here.
Yeah.
Then go to the Porta-John because you don't.
Right.
You don't. If there's fans there, someone probably is going to catch you with a camera phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't see, and maybe you guys did, was they said he threw a tantrum in a bunker.
Yeah.
I didn't see the video of the bunker shot.
So I was watching. He didn't it wasn't. It was on the green. It wasn't like it was. I mean, I would have been like, yeah, I'm out.
The only thing that I don't even think this is news. No one cares about him throwing a tantrum if he doesn't yell at the cameraman.
Right. Yeah. No one says a word if he doesn't say anything. First of all, they finished the hole. Everybody else walked to the 14th tee box, and he stayed back to talk to the cameraman, whose job was to video the 13th green.
Right. Yeah, this isn't a roaming cameraman.
Right.
He's stationed on a non-movable camera that's on that hole.
Right.
If there's golfers on that hole, his job is to video them.
Yeah.
It's very childish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
100%.
Bryson, do your job and play golf. If you throw a tantrum, you throw a tantrum. Don't complain because someone videoed
Someone
you.
on his team better pull him aside and say, "That was wrong, pal. You should probably apologize for that."
Yeah.
If you got that much of an issue and you hit a bad shot, you better work on your temper.
Right.
I mean, we don't play in front of fans. I still am very conscious of I don't want to feel like I'm being an asshole to the people I'm playing with and make it awkward for them.
right.
Right?
We've played with a few people that.
Oh,
sometimes
Tricky
make it
Ricky,
over.
the Red Rocket.
I wasn't going to call him out, but
He knows. But, we all do it. I mean, you grow up.
yeah. And like I said,
And
he obviously he's younger in emotions and stuff like that, but still, he
You're a
knows
professional.
He's
He's
what,
20
he just got his 6th PGA Tour win. It's not like
he's 26. It's not like he's a
true,
13-year-old kid.
but
He's
yeah,
not a rookie.
Accident.
He's just do your job and play golf. Like if they catch a tantrum, like Spieth was red hot today, and you just wait. He blows up. It feels like every other round.
Yeah, he can't put it together right now, which sucks.
Yeah,
but.
he's just got he lets his emotions get to him, which Rom does the same. But you don't see them complaining because the cameraman had the camera on him.
It comes with the territory.
Right.
Plain and simple.
If you want to be top 10 in the world, the camera's going to be on you.
I just want to know if the camera caught all 81 shots today of Brooks Koepka.
He didn't shoot 81.
Yes, he did.
No, Chase did.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Chase Koepka
Brooks
shot.
was 2 over.
Yeah.
They put it on TV that Brooks Koepka
No.
shot 81. Yes, this morning, Golf Channel. I'm looking at it. I'm like,
Chase Koepka shot 80. He's second to last in the tournament, but Brooks shot 2 over.
Brooks was 2 over.
Brooks shot 41 on the front
the
nine.
Golf Channel got it wrong
and
today.
then went 3 under on the back.
Golf Channel got it wrong today.
Because a lot of people are joking on Twitter. They're like, did Chase take Brooks's tee time when Brooks shot 41 on the front nine? But no, Brooks shot 2 over.
because then they had it wrong on Golf Channel. Because there was a picture. I was standing in front of the TV. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah, he shot 41 on the front and then shot 3.
I even
on
said
the
something to
back.
Allie. I'm like, it says Brooks Koepka shot 81 today. He was 5 over after 9.
He was 5 over after
So
9.
Golf Channel got the wrong Koepka.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 2 over.
Because they were showing highlights of him hitting shots. Way to go, Golf Channel. You owe me. Anyway, speaking of Koepka, he tweeted about
He did.
DeChambeau. It was just like a steroid needle or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're assuming it was about DeChambeau.
Right.
So
Like I said, dude, he's playing well. It's working for him, but and that's I think Thomas might have made a comment. He was like joking about it, but he's like I always like joke about him, but maybe I just should shut up now.
play
Like,
better, yeah.
Well, when we talked about him a couple weeks ago, I said that this playing style will probably get him a couple wins in the short term. But
Yes.
I just think that what he's doing to his body, especially the violent swing, not just the weight gain, but the violent swing, he's shortening the back end of his career. That's what I believe he's doing. So he's going to get some wins short term, and he proved that last week. But does he have more than 5 years in him with this playing style?
I
That's
don't
the
know
question.
where he is in the world golf rankings, but what do you guys think is
7.
chance? Does he win a major in the
No.
next 3 years?
He never wins a major.
No, I don't think he doesn't chip and putt well enough
Yep.
to win majors.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. Did you watch any of it Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah.
I did not.
Well, I watched
actually.
Saturday. I didn't watch Sunday. 'cause
I watched Sunday. I
had
watched
my
almost the
son's
whole
birthday.
thing Sunday, but
I don't know what the hell I did Sunday, but I didn't watch.
I get tired of watching him too because of the way his just mannerisms, and he's just, even when he's not throwing tantrum, he's a baby.
Right.
And I mean, he has this whole like mindset of like everything's so calculated, and he's almost got an arrogant way of doing it. At one point, he had to, on a par 5, he had to chip out because he was in the trees, and he was like, he moaning and groaning and bitching the whole time because he chipped out and went through the fairway into the rocks in the pond. He had to take a drop.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like thinking to myself, did you really? Because we all know how he thinks. Did you really stand in the trees and think to yourself? I mean, there was plenty of room out there. Oh, I need to hit it 13 and a half yards that way. Like, you had all the room in the world to just put it in the fairway.
And that fairway was like 50 yards wide at that point.
Yeah,
it was huge.
He overstretched it. Like, just put it in the fairway.
Right.
But there's like this arrogance about him, like, I'm better than thou because I know how to calculate.
Yeah, and it was, on that one, it's like he almost had to, he's like, I got to lay it up within 5 yards of that pond.
Yes.
Or else it's not going to be good.
We're talking about a punch out. Just put it in the damn fairway.
Right.
And if I'm a caddy, I'm going to probably grab him by the nape of the neck and be like, you're an idiot.
And I think they said his caddy worked for NASA, maybe. So
that's
he's got
a great combination.
So he's got like a similar mindset.
I was just gonna say that would be a nightmare to be his caddy.
You're right, though. Short term, yes. But if you watch any of that golf, those fairways were like 60 yards wide.
Right.
Okay? We're hitting it down hallways at our home course.
Yeah.
So
That's why I'm curious to watch him if he still tries to pound the ball next week at Muirfield.
I would
I
guarantee.
think he will. I think he's
Just to prove a point.
he's got that mindset now.
Yeah.
He's trying to be.
but they're
the
growing the
longest guy
rough.
out
It's
there.
going to be firm and fast, and that's not going to be
It's
conducive.
quick already, and they're like, we're not due for any rain for the next 7 days, I think they said.
So I'm not overly familiar with the course, but like you're saying, if there's a hole where, for example, he's got to carry it 310 over water, he's got the attitude right now where he's going to attempt that.
Yeah.
He's not going to take a 6 iron and lay it out there.
He did that this week. There was like 2 pot bunkers on each side of the fairway.
Yeah.
He hit driver. He hit driver right between them. I'm like, yeah, great shot, but what if you bury one of those?
Right.
Right.
Like, it's just a stupid move.
And most of those guys are but that's where his confidence comes in. He knows he's not as good with his shorter irons. So he's like, I can't lay it up to, I can't lay it back to 180, 170 because I don't know where that next shot's going. But if I put it down to 70 out, I feel a little more confident.
He shouldn't. He's 110th on tour from 100 yards and in.
Right.
110th.
And they brought I don't know I don't know if it was Thursday or Friday when I was watching or on Saturday when I was watching, but they made a good point. He had a chip, he was just in front of the green and he chipped and he left it like 20 feet short.
His
And
first
said,
hole.
They said, well, maybe if his wedges weren't 38 inches long, that might make a difference.
The other thing Faldo kept bringing up is
I think it was
if I'm Bryson right now, I'm going to probably go grab some wedges who have steel shafts and not hit wedges with graphite shafts because that's the other thing he's doing right now. He's chipping and putting and hitting wedges with graphite shafts. Like, that just doesn't work.
And his grips are the size of this Yeti here.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
I get tired of, like, I'm tired of the hype. I'm like, congrats on winning the tour events, like, whatever. But I'm tired of all the hype, like, oh my gosh, he's hitting it so far. Okay, little stat for you. Bryson's number 1 on tour and driving right now, averaging 323 yards. He put on 40 pounds. He is 0.4 yards longer than Cameron Champ, who weighs 150 pounds.
Right.
Cameron Champ is averaging 322.6.
Yeah.
And whatever the difference between whatever Rory's number is has to be within 5 yards.
Yeah, the rest of the guys are all stuck at like 315, 3,
Yeah, because I think Cantlay, I was watching Cantlay a little bit today. He's averaging like 301, and he's like 80th. Like, he's way down there compared to, and he's still 300. And 300, obviously it's short compared on nowadays, but 300 will still get you.
It's long enough.
It'll get you a driver and a 9-iron into a par 4.
Yeah, if you can hit 300 yards, you can compete on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
So I'm getting angry over here because I'm over the hype, and I think he's a baby. He's doing it for attention. The guy can't chip and putt or hit wedges because of his technique. And I would stand face to face with that guy and argued with him until I'm blue in the face. I don't give a shit you have some degree in physics. The reason you can't chip or putt is because you have zero leverage and touch in your hands. You're not going to ever be able to chip out of rough with your lob wedge the length of your 6-iron with no hinge in your wrist.
I enjoyed listening to the announcers. Next time he plays, listen to the announcers, because they made a couple comments, and it was almost like picking on him on the broad, because they're like, well, right now he's trying to check out the barometric pressure.
Yeah, they do.
And so they're like making fun of him on the course. And like I said, everybody can make it. Obviously, he won last week. Like, congrats. But, like, in the long run, like we've said, it's just probably not.
It's not sustainable.
It's going to be hard.
You're going to play a harder course.
Yeah.
A lot harder course.
Think about, obviously, and I think you mentioned this a few weeks ago with Phil lost a ton of weight. Like, in 4 or 5 years, obviously we're all in our early 30s, he's going to be like, dude, I can't be at this weight. Like, it's not going to work out. Like, I've got to trim down.
The guy was doing just fine. He was being successful.
Yeah, he won
5 other tournaments.
He won back-to-back a couple of years ago in the playoffs.
If anything, my mindset isn't like, oh, I should put on 40 pounds so I hit it further. I'd be like, I should probably learn how to chip.
Well, maybe if he didn't use a 3-degree driver.
5.
Sorry.
But you're right. That's what it is. I mean, the driver's longer, and it's 5 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's like 46.5, so 47. I don't know what it's like a half-inch shorter than.
It's a long drive competition setup.
Yeah.
If you put that same driver in McIlroy's hands, Cameron Champ, Tony Finau, they're probably going to be out driving Bryson.
Yeah.
That's one of the factors they're not talking about on TV.
Right. It's basically you have an extra club is what you got. I mean, you drop it down, you're lowering your spin, and he's just launching it.
It's almost he's hitting a 7-iron instead of a 9-iron.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm tired of the he's hitting it so far. DeChambeau didn't win last week because of driving distance. I'm going to throw that out there right now.
He putted very well.
He was +8 in strokes gained putting. Because if you watched anything on Sunday, this guy had 100-yard wedges. He couldn't put within 15 feet.
But then
he would make a 25-footer. Yeah. I mean, it's not his driving distance is not winning tournaments right now.
Right.
It's just putting. And I'm so tired of hearing about how far he hits it. And I would still out-chip him.
Do you want to talk about Patrick next?
What about him?
I don't know.
What about LeBron?
We can talk about LeBron if you want to event too. I'm just tired of the bullshit. I just really am.
Well, then we won't talk about LeBron.
I got one more thing I want to talk about. 2 more things I want to talk about this.
With golf?
DeFatso. I've got a new name for him. We got Patrick and we got DeFatso. Okay? You ready?
I'm going to think about that. I think I can come up with something better than that.
Could you please? That was off the cuff. I thought of it.
It's like a half-hour, 45-minute ride to the golf course tomorrow morning with me. The rest of you be firing names off.
If you're playing with DeChambeau, he has the tee, and you step up on a 400-yard hole. He tells you to go ahead. He's waiting for the green to clear. What's your response?
Oh,
nope.
No. I'm not doing that.
Go ahead.
I'd probably look down for him and be like, I think you're good, bud.
Yeah. First of all, yeah, that's the thing. And obviously, we talk about this a lot. If you have 260, 270 into a par 5, it's like, well, you can hit. You're not going to land it there.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not landing the ball
That's-
400.
I'd
Like
say
if it
that-
so, and that's exactly right. I think his driving distance was like 350 last week, but he's landing at 325, and it's rolling another 25 or 30 yards.
So this ball didn't even come close to the 400-yard par 4.
Right.
It didn't hit a tree. He hit it in the rough. He still had 70 yards in. And then Matt Wolf was in the group behind him and hit it 30 yards past where he came in from.
Wolf's another guy, right? He can't be more 180 pounds,
Right.
and just hits the ball.
It's so stupid. You could shove your physics degree up your frickin' science ass. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, you have to swing that hard and put on the weight because you have no technique in your swing other than the one plane, swing like a bot.
Obviously, every golf swing, like make sure you have balance, everything. Dude, when he swings, he's freaking 5 yards from the ball when he ends up because he's spinning in circles. Yeah. It looks like that guy on the Asian tour that missed the ball this week.
Whipped the ball this week. Yeah. And you got any predictions on Bryson's first injury? Anybody? Want to take a guess what it might be?
Achilles.
I think there's a lot of things. It's either going to be his lower back or a knee.
I think it's his left knee.
Yeah, if I had to put money.
Or he's going to roll an ankle.
Yeah.
I'm going Achilles. He's just stepping in a hole.
One more thing. And then I'm moving on for this jackass. By the way, I would say all this to your face, you fucking idiot. Because now I'm really pissed. I saw a video this week that was new within the last 4 weeks. His coach takes all of his golf balls, puts them in a bucket, fills that bucket with Epsom salt and water.
Come on.
No, I'm not. Dude, I ain't even started yet.
That's stupid enough.
Oh, it gets so much better. He takes the golf ball, throws it in the water, spins it, and lets the heavy end come to so the heavy end would come. Okay?
All right.
He then dots it.
Yep.
Okay, with a marker. Takes it out of the water, and then he takes lead tape, puts it over top of where he dotted it, like a little piece, because, science says 60 grams is or milligrams is what it could be off. I can't remember what he said. So he takes a little piece of lead tape, throws it over the ball, throws it back in the water. If that ball does not flip and the lead tape go to the bottom, they throw the ball out. Because not all balls are perfect. They're mass-produced.
Can you leave a separate bucket for us? I'll take some balls.
The guy's like, how often do you do this? He's like, all of his balls. He goes, how long does it take you to do a dozen? He goes, about 15, 20 minutes. He goes, usually in a dozen, we throw out 2 golf balls. And then I'm like, wait a minute. This guy's swimming his golf balls to test where the balance point is. You're around people, like Tiger Woods. Why don't you go ask him how many times he floated his golf balls in salt water to win 15 majors?
Yep.
Get out of here with your bullshit. By the way, you're not winning a major.
Dude, he was using the TrackMan on the putting green last week.
No, he
I
wasn't.
swear to God.
On, man.
Because he was trying to figure out the launch angle from his putter and the ball. To make sure it was rolling.
I think the
quicker.
launch angle from his putter to the ball is just pure moron. That's what it is.
He had the TrackMan on the putting green last week.
I can't even handle this crap. Bryson, call me if you want a chipping lesson. Maybe you'll win.
Or if
more.
you want to be on the podcast, let us know.
No, I don't want you on the podcast. I'm just going to chew your ass for being an idiot.
That would be awkward.
Well, that'll make it fun.
It's so stupid, though. I mean, first of all, I'm not saying Bryson's a better golfer than me, but I'm telling you, his technique, knowing the golf swing, he's never going to win majors. He's definitely never going to win a U.S. Open. Throw me on the record right now for saying that.
No, that's the one major he will never win.
Or
a
PGA championship.
I was going to say an Open. I don't think he wins an Open.
His best chance to win a major is Augusta because it's more traditional golf.
Right. And I guess an Open potentially because the fairways are so wide. But if he starts missing fairways there, he's done.
Or he's in a pot bunker and can't get out.
Right.
See, and I think of Augusta as the one where you have to putt the best to win, and that's
the only thing he's doing well.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now, putting comes and goes.
Yeah.
You can have off weeks.
Yeah, because they were. I think they said it would be interesting to watch him at Augusta this year because of some of the lines he's probably going to take on. There's 6 or 7. I saw an overview of the course, and they were like, if you take some of these drives and put them where he's going to have to line up if he wants to hit driver, they don't know if he's going to be able to. He's going to have to clear trees and then take
Well,
absolutely crazy angles.
So that's when you have to be smart enough to back down to your 3-iron.
Right. Which obviously we know he's smart, but is he
So
golf
smart, he's stupid.
His ego
If he-
outweighs
yeah,
his
Yeah.
if he's
intelligence.
Is he golf smart?
Put that on a T-shirt.
We can.
What is that again? Let's write that down.
His ego outweighs his intelligence.
Okay.
Russ Grinnell 2020.
The fatso.
Nah, I'm coming up with something else.
But, I mean, we've talked about this before all this happened, probably more than a year ago, in a semi-drunk stupor at the golf course. I think I proclaimed to both of you, like, I would smoke that dude in a chipping contest any day of the week. Mm-hmm. And I would I would even take either one of you in a chipping contest because his technique is terrible.
So I was just going to say, I'm confident I could beat him in a chipping contest.
100%. You can't, I mean, we watched it. I remember in the Ryder Cup in France, he had like a ball in the rough. And I think I even said, I'm like, he's leaving this in front of him.
Yeah.
And I was close. It was like a foot. So it was like kind of in front of him. The ball didn't come up because you have to have a steeper angle of attack to be able to get the club under the ball. You can't chip. Unlike the golf swing where it's like, in his mind, it's one way and only way. You can't chip that way. There's got to be different angles of attack based on your lie.
If he gets in thick rough, I don't know. He can't chip.
Right.
That's why I'm curious with Muirfield because I think it's 3 or 4 inch Kentucky bluegrass. It's thick and it sits down, and so next week will be Next week will be a good test to see where his game is at.
And then one of the announcers was like, he was on a par 5 on Saturday. He had 205 in. They're like, he just hit 8-iron into that par 5 from 205. Yeah, it's as long as it's 6-iron.
Right.
Are we not? We're going to leave that out again? Like,
Right. And 3/4 of the guys on tour would do that also.
right.
Correct.
Brooks Koepka would also be hitting an 8-iron.
I'm just-
Tiger probably would.
I mean,
Bubba would.
I remember a couple of times. I think it was at East Lake. JT hit like an 8-iron, like 220. Because they're like, oh, he pulling 8-iron out.
Yeah.
But that's what those guys do. It's
It's
normal nowadays for
right.
them.
The driving thing doesn't impress me for many reasons, and I'm going to end on this. The 5-degree drivers, it's not spinning. He's getting it in the air. It's also longer, and like you said, if you put that in the hands of many other people, they're going to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not winning because of his length. He's winning because of his putting. So if you're 15 out there and you want to learn how to hit it, don't hit it like Bryson. Learn how to putt because that's going to make you be a better player in the long run.
Yep.
And that's the only reason. If he misses half those putts he made on Sunday, he might shoot 70.
Right.
I mean, the guy had 100 yards and he had like 25 feet. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm over it. The hype is not real with me. Nope. Sorry for ranting so much.
I got one golf
you're
question
good.
for you guys. I don't know if you guys saw it going around Twitter. I don't know when it was.
I know where
The
you're
other
going
day.
with this.
So someone posted, it said, you get one putt. There's a 3-footer, 5-footer, 10-footer, 20-footer, or 50-footer. Worth
For the money?
for 50,000, 100, 250, a million, or 5. A lot of it depends where I'm putting
me-
at. If I'm at Willow Creek, I'm taking the 3-footer.
I'll say
I still don't know which way it's going.
to me, this is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I'll see what you guys think.
I'll take the 10-footer.
I'm taking 5.
I think the 5-footer for 100K is a no-brainer. I think the make percentage between a 5-footer and a 10-footer is much
Yeah.
better.
10 foot, you can get a lot more break.
How much is it for 10
And
feet?
250.
versus 100K.
Yeah, I
for
would just take the
5-footer.
100K. Yep.
And
Yeah,
the 50K for a 3-footer, to me, the 50K is worth backing up 2 feet to 5
right.
feet.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, the 5-footer.
Yeah, I like the 5-footer. I've 5 or 3 I feel comfortable with. 10, depending on where you're putting, obviously,
And
plays
also,
a lot into it.
also back to Willow Creek, I'd probably take a longer putt because I can just hit it.
That's true.
If you try to finesse a 5-footer there, it's going to break 2 different ways.
But if you think it's going 2 feet left, it's actually going a foot right.
Yeah, that's why you aim at the hole there. Yeah. Where can we sign up for that?
Yeah, is there a sign-up sheet?
This guy.
One more golf thing. Ryder Cup is officially moved to next year.
Yep.
Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, we've already mentioned a couple times. I think that's the one event you have to have fans at. So if they thought there was any chance of no fans,
I agree.
I think moving it's smart.
Yeah, and I think I tried to flip on the press conference when they had it, and I was just a touch late because I was in a meeting. But they one of the questions was like, is there a guarantee that next year at this time they can have fans? Like, there's no guarantee, but you can't have them right now, so it's worth the risk of pushing it back a year. And I think a lot of people forget, obviously in 2001, everything had to be pushed back.
Yeah, it was pushed back.
I forget if it was a Ryder Cup or President's Cup then that had to get pushed back a year, but
It would have been a president. No, it would have been a Ryder Cup.
I think it was a Ryder Cup.
Yeah, because now
So
we're back
obviously
on
it had to get pushed back a year anyway. So it's not like it hasn't happened before. Obviously, a totally different situation, but
technically we're back on what would be the normal schedule.
the normal, yeah.
So we've pushed out again.
Right.
Was that because of 9/11?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, that's what makes the Ryder Cup.
And I thought it was interesting.
Yep.
So the U.S. is still accumulating points. Europe said
We're freezing their points.
freezing the points until next year. So if I don't know who's, say someone, I don't know who's like 10th on the list in Europe, wins 2 majors this year, it doesn't count. He gets no Ryder Cup points.
So I think the logic behind that, this is just my thinking. The logic behind that is we're playing golf in the U.S. right now. They're not in Europe.
Right.
So
Oh, okay.
right. So they're not really playing right now over there. They're playing here. And which Rory, I don't know if you guys caught that a couple weeks ago. He criticized those guys and said, if you care about your career, you should be over here because it's not because you're not allowed. There's a means. You could come over and spend the 2 weeks,
Right.
and you're good to go.
Right.
So there's a means, and you could be over here. So I think the reason they're froze is because of they're not technically. I mean, there is guys. Don't get me wrong. There's guys who probably on the the mid to lower tier on the European tour that probably wouldn't travel over here. I get that. So I think the reason they froze it was they're not playing in Europe right now.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, because there's I think Adam Scott, I think he's still in Australia. I don't think he's come back yet.
Nope.
So it's what, top 15 player in the world, top 20. Well, I don't know where he is right now, but he's just not over here playing.
Yep. And T-Dub's playing next week, boys.
Yep.
Finally.
Bringing it back. Well, I mean, that was kind of the prediction.
Yeah.
I didn't see him. Didn't see him going to Harbortown. I didn't really see him.
Well, we thought he was going.
Detroit.
We thought he was going to.
Oh, because his yacht was down there.
Yeah, but
Did he take his yacht to Detroit?
No, someone stole it.
Nobody saw it there. Okay.
In Detroit, by the way.
Fair enough.
It was gone from Lake Michigan.
That would have been an epic move if somehow his yacht showed up in Lake Michigan.
Said tow it there. That would have been awesome. That would have been great. Where are you staying? On Lake Michigan. And what? My boat.
so I was watching listen to PGA Tour live today, and I don't know who was. I forget who Day was playing. Day, Koepka, and I don't know who they were playing with, and they interviewed Day off one of the tees because they asked him if they want to be interviewed and everything, and so they're talking about, 'cause obviously Day, his home course is Muirfield, from Columbus, because Ellie's family's from there and everything.
From there, yeah.
So they're like, why, do you like it here? He's like, it's quiet. There's a lot of hidden gems here. He's like, it wouldn't have been my first choice, but my wife's family's from here. And they're like, are your shoveling skills good? He's like, I don't know. I got one of them fancy things that's got the brush on it. It sweeps the driveway.
Oh
He's
my
like, it's
God.
great.
I'm assuming he has some means out there, too, to hit balls inside.
I would assume.
yeah.
I would assume.
Otherwise,
so.
you're not living in Columbus.
Jack probably hooked him up.
That could be, too. Could be something, right at Murfield that's simulator, TrackMan.
Yeah, he said there's a lot of great courses. He said there's like 5 or 6 great courses in the area in Columbus.
Columbus is a great town, man. I missed going out this year. It's a good time out there.
And it's
very up and coming city.
It's far
too.
enough south they don't get a ton of snow, so it's.
It gets cold though.
I was gonna say he probably gets like 4 months. It's probably 2 months that he can't play at all. There's probably a couple other months that he can probably go hit balls for a half hour.
I don't know, man. I've
without
been
freezing.
there. I usually go in March, and I've yet to be there in March when it's above 50.
Right, but even at 40, at least he could go out and hit balls for half hour to an hour if he wanted to.
Personal
I
preference. I have limits.
I assume he's probably got some kind of simulator in his house.
I'm sure.
So
I would. I mean, you got the money, right? I think. Yeah, he's rich.
Yeah. He's doing all right. He's not Patrick Mahomes rich, but
No,
He's doing all right.
He's doing all right. Do you want to give everyone a NHL update?
yeah, we have a couple minor updates from them. So they have officially confirmed Edmonton and Toronto as the two hub cities. It sounds like they are going to have 3 games per day in each city, 12 p.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. So because of the time difference, they will be slightly offset. Because
Okay.
of the time difference between Edmonton and Toronto. So there will be games basically all day.
Yeah, so like
You could watch.
12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's going to be games.
3 games per city.
Per city.
3 games per city. So
Per day.
6 NHL games total per day.
Can we bet on this stuff?
I would assume so.
Dude, it's going to be hockey nonstop all day.
I just want to know if like it's 2-1 and going into third period with 5 minutes left or something like that I can just
Smart
Grinnell
money
and go
means-
over and throw $5 in the
Smart
machine.
money means throw $5 on the team that's losing.
Yeah.
So teams have been in their home cities for a while doing informal training. I believe they're starting formal training camp. They might even started this week, actually. July 24th, they will travel to their assigned hub city, either Edmonton or Toronto. The following day, July 25th, they are doing some form of exhibition games, a mock preseason, if you will.
Okay.
I don't have details on how many games each team's playing or anything like that. July 30th, the qualifying round robin starts. So July 30th, we will have games that matter in the NHL.
Okay. Isn't that the same with basketball?
Yeah, it was the 30th, 31st.
I believe
I
it's
think.
very close to that,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about Stanley Cup? I mean, we got teams in separate
Yep.
cities. Like, do they announce like where's that happening or?
So as far as dates go, so you'll have a few rounds in between. September 20th is when the Stanley Cup Finals will begin. I have not heard – so one of those 2 hub cities has to host the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
And, you know, I guess one thing I don't know, maybe you've seen this, I don't know if one hub city has to be Eastern Conference, one has to be the West.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I haven't seen that. I don't know if they've announced which
Because I don't think
conference is going where.
That would be my guess because that's what baseball's kind of doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Because if you
Yeah.
had like certain teams eliminated, you would potentially have to have a team fly from one hub city to the other to play a team
Yeah.
based on rank. So I'm assuming one city will be one conference and the other will be.
Okay. Is there
the
an
other.
equal number of teams from each conference?
Yes.
So
Not like basketball.
right, I was gonna say NBA didn't do that, but
Correct. So I don't think they've announced which one of the hub cities will host the Stanley Cup final. But if all the East is in Toronto and all the West is in Edmonton, they get down to the final 2 teams. One of them's got to travel to the other hub city.
And maybe they'll wait to I think it would be smart to say the East is going to Edmonton, West is going to Toronto, because you want Toronto and Edmonton playing their home cities.
Yeah.
It's a huge advantage for them, obviously.
correct.
And then I would assume you'd wait to announce Stanley Cup. Obviously, it's going to be one of those 2 cities. Obviously, it ends up Toronto, Edmonton. It wouldn't matter. But, if Toronto makes it in the East, you might say, all right, we're going to play it in Edmonton.
Yeah. So Toronto doesn't have a home.
I could see waiting if like it is Toronto, but I think if I were to say you need to pick one of the cities, just for TV viewership, I would pick Toronto because it'd be prime time on the East. And you
I
know
would,
your game.
Yeah.
I would disagree.
I think they'll do the opposite. I think
Really?
they'll go to Edmonton and have them at like 8:30
9
Eastern
o'clock,
time,
somewhere in there.
which would be 5:30 out there,
No, 6. They're 2 hours behind.
just 2.
2.
Really?
Rather than if you have 7 o'clock games in Toronto,
It would be 5
be
o'clock.
5 o'clock
or
out
4 o'clock
west.
in the West, in the Pacific.
yeah.
So I think they would go. I think Edmonton would be and obviously they're both big hockey places, but I think Edmonton's even bigger than
I was going to
Toronto,
say Toronto.
hockey wise.
Toronto. I would argue Toronto is the biggest hockey market in the world, but Edmonton also has a brand new arena, and it's definitely top 3 hockey
That probably
markets.
tips the scales too.
Yeah. So, I guess to sum up and add a couple other things here. So, July 30th is when the games will start that matter. The last possible game, if all the series went full length, would be October 2nd. The NHL draft will be on the 6th, October 6th. So that gives them a couple days to figure out the order based on Stanley Cup Finals,
A
etc.
couple days to cure the hangover and start drafting.
Are you 2 boys doing a live stream for that?
Why not?
I'm up for it.
Oh boy. Okay.
Nope.
I got ideas. We'll talk about off air.
Okay. This is where it kind of gets jam-packed. So, like I said, October 2nd is the last possible game. October 6th, NHL draft. October 9th, free agency opens.
It's quick.
It's
Just
not, as you say, it's not much different than normal because usually Stanley Cup ends, I don't know, like third week of June, second week of June, somewhere in there, and July 1st is usually free agency. So it's not a huge difference compared to normal.
Because I know the NBA shortened their free agency days.
So November 17th, training camps open for next season. And next season, the 2020-21 season, starts on December 1st. So that, to me, is where it gets jam-packed. You have last possible game of the Stanley Cup, draft, free agency, training camps, and then the season starts within about a 2-month span.
So, I mean,
that's where it gets jam-packed.
Of all the sports, correct me if I'm wrong, of all the sports who were cut short, I mean, they were almost done. Mm-hmm. But with their plan to come back and then the restart's not that far off from their normal restart. Am I wrong in saying that?
2 months.
Time-wise?
Usually it's beginning of October.
But they could get back on track easier than, could you cram a schedule in there?
No, I don't think you could.
So do you think they'll elongate the next season and then get back on track then?
Yeah, I think if all goes smoothly, my guess is next season. Of course, they haven't announced next season's schedule, anything like that.
Which is funny because the baseball announced their 2021 schedule today.
Yeah, that is weird.
So my guess is the NHL season next season will run a month later than usual, and then from there they'll be much closer to on track.
Being on track. So it's not going to be a 1-year fix.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, we knew from the start when all this stuff got shut down and there was rumors about restart plans, the NHL commissioner, Gary Bettman, basically said, and comparing to other sports, NHL was most willing to delay next season and kind of have a couple seasons offset of their normal time schedule.
I don't think it affects them as much as other sports, potentially.
Right. Yeah, because they're almost done. I mean, but I don't know. At least they're getting back.
I'm just ready to watch something. Obviously, I don't follow the NBA as much, but because they're still finishing their season technically.
Yeah.
Where the NHL is just going.
They're going
to their
into
playoffs.
a modified playoff.
Yeah, which I like actually. I mean, if we're going to take a silver lining out of this, I mean, I kind of like that intensity of.
Right.
You could have been out of it, now you're back in it.
Dude,
if you've been a borderline hockey fan, or even if you've never watched hockey, I would recommend watching this because this is going to, in my opinion, you got this layoff. No teams have momentum. All teams are healthy, and you've got an added round. I believe this upcoming playoff scenario is going to be the best hockey we've ever seen.
You could sit on your ass for 14 hours straight and just watch hockey nonstop.
Could or will?
Will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Russ. I might have to check my schedule. I'm free. I'll do that.
I mean, so that'll make it interesting if this qualifying round robin thing if they like how it worked, will they potentially modify playoffs in the future to? I don't know if they will, but could it potentially?
To include more teams.
I mean,
not even to include. Even if you said it's still 16 teams, 8 per conference, but we're gonna do a
round robin.
The top 3 or 4 play a round robin to kind of figure out where I don't know if they will. Or
I think
not,
you'd get mixed feelings on that. You get the people that say, yeah, I mean, depending on how this goes, yeah, I love that. Let's do that. Then you'll have the old school traditional fans who say, no, I want to go back to the old way. That's how you win the cup. Because then you start getting into this conversation of, well, they won the cup this way, and this team won the cup this way.
Yeah.
And you got people that try to put an asterisk on it, and they probably shouldn't.
I mean, we've got Seattle is the next expansion team in the NHL. They're coming into play, I believe. Is it the 2021-22 season?
Correct. Yeah, the 21-22.
So that adds another team. So usually when that happens and leagues expand, they kind of rethink their schedule, playoff formats anyways.
Yeah.
So the timing might line up with, hey, we've got another team and this scenario went well. You never know. They might rethink it.
Right.
So
I'm going to watch it. I would
I
call
would-
myself a mediocre hockey fan, and I'm going to watch it.
I'm glad I'm working from home the next 2 months.
I might be betting on it if I can find a way.
I know a guy in PA.
Dude, that's right. Yeah. By the way, speaking of betting, not that I don't know if you ever watch this, but shout out to Pat McAfee, man. He got rich this week. I don't know if you guys heard.
So I saw the headlines, but I didn't see exactly what.
So he released a video. He signed a deal with FanDuel. They were already with FanDuel, but I think they signed a more lucrative long-term deal. And he didn't announce what the number was, but he went to the bank, took out $500,000, and then put $50,000 in bags. Literally bags, like backpacks. He's like, you gotta secure the bag. That was his logic. And it was like late at night. He drove to all his guys' houses and like knocked on their door. These guys are answering the door with like, one guy answered the door with a bat. He didn't know it was McAfee. One guy, they were all like no shirt, and he's like, here, man, here you go. Gives him a bag. Wow. Yeah.
I saw the headlines, but I didn't look into what happened. But
And then he had,
that's.
then yesterday, the video was hilarious.
I'll wait for Kyle to knock on our door.
I hope I do someday. I really do.
You might not want to knock on Ross's door. I'm just saying.
At that point, I'll be carrying a gun too.
If it's,
so.
I would say, if it's like,
read his doormat before you knock on the door.
Nah, I got rid of that.
All right.
So if it's like 11 p.m. or later, duck.
Well, if you get a chance to watch that video where he did the announcement, you got to watch it because it's like there's a clip of Wilbon in there. It was like, somebody get this guy, hold his jersey on him, and shove his helmet back on and tell him to get to camp because he walked away from $3 million to go to do all this.
Right. Yeah.
But the idea of him doing all this, he said, was in his mind for like 3 years. He thought about doing it. Then he finally pulled the trigger. And yeah, it was pretty cool. Like some of the stories these guys told. Like he called the one guy. I don't know if you ever watched the show.
I don't.
There's like two guys that sit at a desk right across from him. The one guy said, I can't remember which one it was, but he's like, I remember you called me. I was sitting in my cubicle at work. And I took the call. I got up and went out somewhere where I could take the call. And he's like, I remember being in a hallway on the phone. I was like, you want to do what?
Yeah.
I'll get back to you. And he said, I remember going home that night and told my parents, I'm quitting my job. I'm going to work for McAfee. And he said, basically, he told my parents, like, look, I've known a guy for 20 years. You've known a guy for 20 years. He's been successful in everything he's ever done. I'm going to take a chance on him. And it's definitely paid off. So, but he did not. He told a funny story because they had the CEO of FanDuel on his show that day.
Okay.
Yesterday, I think it was yesterday. But he told this funny story about. He's like, I remember, like, I had a number in my mind. They went and had us like lunch at Lucas Oil, right outside of Lucas Oil Stadium in a restaurant across the street. He's like, I had this number in mind. He goes, and I would practice it in the mirror, like straight face, like saying the number.
I can see him telling this story.
Yeah, it was great. He's like, so I remember like sitting there, like, he goes, I'm not going to mention the number. But I remember like mentioning the number. And the guy was like, yeah, I think we can do that. And he was like, should have asked for more. The guy didn't really like flinch at it. So, I mean, props to him. I mean, that's cool. Cool story. Gives us hope, right?
Yep. Yep.
Don't forget to subscribe.
I've got an update as we're going here. So the
Breaking news.
Per your sources?
Per my sources, yes. It's going to be the opposite of what we just assumed in the NHL. The Western Conference is going to Edmonton. The Eastern Conference is going to Toronto. However, one random thing I just thought of when we talked about home stadium advantage, there's no fans.
Well, right, yeah, there's no fans.
So they are playing in front of an empty arena, which kind of negates 95% of the purpose of a home arena advantage.
Maybe those Leafs players know there's a secret bounce in the boards.
Okay, we'll move on from there, right?
The curious thing would be now they have them in a hotel. So this thing has the hotel assignments.
That can't be
Rondo's
good.
staying in a Motel 6, right?
Yeah, that's true. They just named every hotel these teams are staying in.
That can't be good.
But they have Toronto and Edmonton listed in hotels. So they must have to quarantine in a hotel
I would
room.
assume they would have to, yeah.
They're not allowed to stay in their home.
Yeah, because I think the Magic had to as well.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
It was all part of the deal.
There you go. Breaking news.
All right.
Wait. Speaking.
Wait.
Sorry.
What?
Wait.
Did you guys see Embiid leaving to go on his trip?
I did.
He had a full hazmat suit on, basically.
I'm 95% sure he was joking.
Yeah, but it was
because he even went over to a fan and took some pictures.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
it was funny.
Yeah, he had a full hazmat suit on.
Pictures I saw were players getting off their buses or in their hotel rooms. They brought their full gaming setups.
Yeah.
Josh Hart was
I would.
streaming from his hotel.
Why wouldn't you?
I would.
So
Especially
if they're doing that, these guys somehow behind the scenes said, hey, I need a separate internet line
Yeah.
into my room because
yeah.
hotel internet is
right.
not good enough to
Yeah.
stream and play from.
Yeah.
Especially since I believe they got to Orlando and had to immediately go on a 48-hour quarantine, correct? Before they even started getting tested.
Yeah, something. Yeah, because a lot of players kept saying, like, I'm in my bubble.
Yeah.
Like,
so they couldn't leave the room for 2 days. So I guess, I would want
I'd take
gaming
my
setup
stuff,
and
too.
whatnot. Yeah.
Something.
who was it? Was it? I don't even know if was it Milwaukee.
We don't know.
Milwaukee shut. I think the Bucks shut down their practice facility for the last like 3 or 4 days because they had like 3 or 4 people come back positive
on their staff.
Yeah, so they shut like the facility down for 3 or 4 days prior to them even leaving and stuff.
I'm not getting down the COVID hole, but I will say I'm tired
you.
of looking at all the baseball players who are testing positive. Let's put some context behind it. That's not from them playing baseball with their teammates, right?
Right.
Because they haven't been together.
No high fiving this year.
But I'm not going on a COVID hole. Yeah. This week, UFC 251.
51. Fight Island.
Fight Island.
I want to find a way to get some of those T-shirts. They got some pretty cool T-shirts.
The UF
for Fight Island.
Oh, you can just get them on their website.
Well,
Yeah.
Here, let's order a couple right now.
Okay, well,
you got the
on
money.
your phone, you buy them for us. We'll wear them.
You got the job. I don't.
Anyways, go ahead.
So on the one like sad note of this, I feel bad for the guys who would have been inducted into the Hall of Fame this week because this would have been International Fight Week in Vegas.
Yep.
And they would have had their moment on stage,
Yeah.
being inducted. I do hope they go back at some point and do that ceremony.
Yeah.
Because those guys do deserve that.
Yep.
Their moment.
Especially, we have talked about it, so not to get into too much detail, but especially Kevin Randleman, right, who is unfortunately passed away. It would have been a cool moment for his family.
Yes.
To relive that.
I agree. So I hope they do
his career, I should say.
I hope they get that chance.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one disappointment of this.
Yep. I agree.
I am pumped for Fight Island.
Yep.
I've been watching Embedded all week. It's pretty cool how they were flying over. What do you got over there?
I was just gonna ask whose bed they were in.
Oh, jeez. So Gilbert Burns backed out. He did test positive for COVID.
Okay, I saw that. Obviously, I saw that he wasn't fighting anymore, but I didn't know. I didn't look into why.
But yeah, he did test positive.
He just tested positive. It wasn't just like, hey, I'm not.
Like prior to them leaving.
Okay.
It was like a week before because Jorge Masvidal took the fight on a week's notice, which I am absolutely pumped
Yes,
for. He deserves this fight.
I'm way more excited for that fight.
110%. So Masvidal is, if this guy isn't marketable right now, I don't know who is.
What the hat?
That hat's pretty sweet.
It looks like your golf hat.
Well, tell me it was a good time.
This guy, he didn't fly on the charter that everybody else flew on.
Correct.
Wait, who?
Masvidal.
Oh, okay.
Because he had to quarantine before his tests.
Right. And when he did an interview with Ariel Helwani, they asked why he didn't fly on the charter, and he said, well, there's a couple reasons. He's like, I'm pretty sure he can't put a wild animal on an airplane. So that was his response.
I love him.
Yeah. But he flew on like a private plane. It was supplied by his management team. He stopped in Rome for pizza.
Yeah, he did. Which
he did. He's got to lose 20 pounds. Now, he said, I only took one bite, but.
So that's what I was going to say. It's
Wait, he
pretty awesome.
20 pounds and he took one bite of pizza.
It's pretty awesome that he stopped there for pizza. But that is my one concern with this fight is he said when he signed, which I believe was what?
Like Tuesday? Monday?
I was going to say
last
Monday.
week.
Yeah.
Was it last
It was. I think it was.
I think he hadn't like officially signed the papers.
Yeah. Anyways,
He negotiated
when
a
he
10-fight
when he
contract.
agreed to the fight, I believe it was about a week away from the
Yeah.
fight date. So I think it was last Friday. Then he made it official on like Monday. He said when he agreed to it, he weighed 191 pounds,
Yeah.
and he's got to cut 20 pounds
I would say
by tomorrow.
He fought at like 170.
Yeah, it's 170. So that, and I think even he admitted that is not ideal for his typical weight cut. So
It's not ideal. They said he has been training already for this fight, just in case the opportunity came.
Yeah.
20 pounds for these guys and 20 pounds for you and I over a week period. They can cut it pretty quick. It's pretty crazy how they do it,
Yeah.
but they do it.
Yeah.
But power move to land your plane in Rome just for pizza to get back in the air, just so you can take a picture on Instagram of you taking a bite of, I guess, in like a Versace robe,
Yes. A pink one.
a pink one. Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy's like no bullshit. Did you see the first episode of Embedded? They had a camera in the lobby of the hotel. There's him and Usman are staying in the same hotel, so
That's what kills me. Like,
he's on the phone and he's got like sunglasses on and like his jumpsuit, and he just like he turns to get on the elevator. As he steps on the elevator, just as he's just getting ready to step on, he doesn't even see out of the corner of his eye. Usman gets off the elevator on the other side. Right, I mean, literally like 2 feet from him. But yeah, he said if I see the guy, I'm not going to beat him up on sight because I'm going to get paid for it on Saturday. So I'm pumped for this. My analytical thoughts on this.
I assume we'll be here watching it.
Negative. I'll give you an update on that.
Oh. Off air.
Masvidal wins this fight. And here's why. Not because I like Masvidal better than Usman. I am tired of Usman doing a lot of talking.
Mm-hmm.
But Usman, in my opinion, he won the belt. He did beat Woodley to win that belt. Mm-hmm. However, given Woodley's last 2 fights, plus his track record, that wins to me is not that impressive. Because Woodley's another guy who does a lot of talking about how great he is, and he's really, truly not that great, and he's shown that if you go back and look. The guy claims to be a champion. He beat Robbie Lawler in a lucky punch that landed, and he knocked out Lawler. So that's how Woodley got the belt.
Got bad news for you.
What do you got over there? What are you buying?
He's already got stuff in his cart.
Well, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Got bad news, Russ.
They don't have his size?
Your size is sold out.
I don't have big guy size.
So Usman, he wins. Usman beats Woodley, who had won the belt by knocking out Lawler, who then fought Wonder Boy Thompson, which was an extremely boring fight. They ran it back because it was a draw. Then he beat Wonder Boy, which in my opinion, he actually lost that fight. Just my personal opinion. The only reason I think they gave him the fight was based on technicality of points, and he had a takedown with less than a minute left. He desperate attempted takedown, and he landed it. Thompson was off balance. He got him against the cage and took him down. Here's some Woodley stats for you. Woodley's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He did beat. One of those wins was he submitted Darren Till, pretty quick.
Okay.
In the fights that went to decisions was Wonder Boy. He landed 54 punches. He fought Damian Maia, who's 41 years old at the time, and landed 57 punches. He then fought Usman and got his ass kicked landed 34 punches, and then just fought Gilbert Burns, who absolutely smoked him. You and I watched this fight.
Yeah.
He threw 28 punches. Woodley, no offense, is not as great a fighter as a champion as he thinks he is or anybody else thinks he is. If you could not step in the cage and pull the trigger on throwing a punch, you're not going to win fights. And he's lost his last 2 because of this, for sure.
I just remember, I think I've only watched Woodley fight once. We were here at your house, and I just remember the fans booing the entire time. This was probably 2 years ago.
If Woodley would go out and fight the way he won the belt to get to that point, he'd probably win. He really, truly would. I mean, I think he's got it, but there's got to be a mental block there that allows him to pull that trigger. He's got to pull the trigger. So to me, Usman getting there and winning that belt wasn't that impressive. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like Masvidal's got that much more experience. He's running way too confident right now. He's in a better gym. That's why he's having this great streak. So I got Masvidal 4th round. TKO. That's what I got. My prediction. Just saying.
All right.
Take it for what's worth.
Does he fake the running knee?
No, he already did that. And then the other fight is Alexander Volkanovski's fighting Max Holloway in a rematch. He took Max's belt. I'm going to say Max wins that fight this time. It was close last time, but as the saying goes, you don't do what? Leave in the hands of the judge. Yeah, and he did. And I was actually kind of shocked because usually when it gets to that point. So I got Holloway winning. And then because Cejudo dipped, vacated his belt, Peter, I think he was afraid to fight Peter Yan, to be honest with you. But Peter Yan, Jose Aldo are fighting for the belt. I got Peter Yan winning this fight.
Peter Yan's a guy I don't know much about at all, to be honest with you.
I got Yan winning this fight.
Because when Cejudo retired, Dana White, in that post-fight press conference after the Cejudo fight, said the belt would be fought for by Yan and somebody.
Yep.
And even then, I pretty much had to look up Peter Yan. I really didn't know who he was.
I need you guys' help with DK for Saturday night.
Well, Yan wanted that. He wanted Cejudo. Called him out for 2 straight fights. He didn't want to fight him. He just found a way around it.
Yeah.
Jessica Andre is fighting Rose. This is a makeup fight. They were supposed to fight April 18th. Jessica actually beat Rose last time. She slammed her on her head, which was actually pretty scary. Yep. Won that fight. And then Jessica actually lost the belt to Weili Zhang shortly after that.
Yep.
So this is a rematch. And then your girl, Paige Van Zant, fights.
She does.
Amanda Ribas. I think this is Paige's last fight in UFC.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's her last fight under contract, and I think she's living out her contract right now, but she's made the comment that she makes more money posting on Instagram than she does fighting in UFC.
Yep.
So I think she's done.
And knowing that fact, along with how many times she's had arm surgery on her broken arm in the last 3 years, she's probably had 6 surgeries on that broken arm. If you can make more money doing something else,
right? Why wouldn't you?
Why not?
You're gonna keep taking punches to the face, and you're no longer pretty.
Especially,
Russ is donating to the Instagram.
He gives her views.
I give her clicks.
Yeah,
but especially, she's not really in a position where she's fighting for a title or anything.
No,
it'd be a long time. She'd have to go on one hell of a win streak to get to that point. So.
Unless here's the only thing that will come out of that is if the winner of this Ribas Van Zant fight, unless Dana White says you guys get the winner of Rose and Jessica, and you guys then fight for the belt. That'd be the only way she stays if she wins. I still think she's done. Because I think the winner of the Jessica Rose is going to get a title fight with Weili Zhang. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's just what I think is going to happen. Yeah. Paige, although good looking and fun to look at, I just don't think she's got the technical skills to win the belt at this point.
No. She first came into the UFC, she had a couple of good wins.
Yes.
And I think everybody thought she was a big prospect on the rise, and it just never quite worked out. I
think she packs it in, and she spends her time not away from the sport. Her husband is trying to get a UFC contract. I think he fights in Bellator right now.
Bellator, yeah. She's got a good enough personality. I could see her even crossing over into acting in movies or something, almost the route Ronda Rousey is taking.
Some table work.
Or
some desk work at fights or something. But
yeah.
She did do that, though, didn't she? When they had the purple couch, they called it. They do the pre-fight shows. Oh, they did that in New York. I can't remember who it was with, but
not sure.
Yeah, it was sponsored by somebody. They had a purple couch called Purple Couch. I think she did some of that.
Okay.
With Forrest Griffin. So, yeah, I think she's done. Yeah. And you got to make a decision. Do you keep taking punches to the face, or do you keep making money doing what you're doing?
Yep.
Outside of fighting.
Yep.
Just my personal opinion. Other than that, I'm pumped, and I'll give you guys details when we're watching the fight.
All right.
Anything else, boys? Any more updates from your?
No new updates.
Okay.
Let me check my list.
I'm ready for baseball next week.
Does that start next week?
Or 2 weeks, I guess.
Okay.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from today.
Speaking of baseball, did you see Tanaka take one off the dome?
Yeah, that ain't
Holy.
good. That ain't good to start the season.
I do have a stat update. Last time we talked about 60-game stretches, and Giancarlo Stanton had the 33 home runs. That stat was based on the last decade. So, not all time. The longest stretch I found, I didn't search real hard, but in the season, Bonds hit 73 home runs. He had 37 home runs in a 60-game stretch, which is just insane to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Sammy Sosa, in that year, he would have had a 33 home run stretch over 60 games.
That was probably June, July, wasn't
it? Which was actually better than McGuire did.
So, since you guys keep asking me the past 4 podcasts, I did watch.
Let's say we have it.
I did watch it.
We have potentially a couple documentary updates. I don't know if we want to get into or not.
Not only did I watch it once, but I watched it twice.
Okay, yeah. How was it?
I loved it.
See?
I watched it twice.
You need to tell your buddies to shove it.
I watched it twice.
So I need to. I need to watch it.
I forgot how exciting that time was, and it was. I wish that we got more from. So he had a couple of comments in there, and I guess I didn't realize because McGuire and Sosa were obviously playing with McGuire. Hit 62. They were doing press conferences together.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat. I guess I never realized that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: you said one of your buddies claimed that this documentary didn't dive into the home run race.
Yeah.
How can you say that?
I'm going to punch him in the head.
The whole documentary.
He's got a big head, too, so I might. It
won't
won't
miss
be,
that.
it won't
The whole
miss.
documentary was about the home run
Yeah,
race.
dude.
I didn't understand.
It was great. Like I said, I've watched it twice now.
Okay, good.
I got to watch it once.
Yeah.
Unlike Adam, though, I wasn't like, hey, I'm going to watch that.
You got any more spiked over there?
What do you
Or you
want?
gone?
No, they're
I
gone.
got one more. I got one more Twisted Tea if you want it. Might be a tad warm.
I'll do it over here.
All right. Cracking a drink, so we're getting into something else.
Do you
I
have
guess.
something else?
All right. Speaking of documentaries, so I watched the backstory.
Yeah.
The LeBron one?
Yeah.
I also watched this.
The one about that schmuck. I completely disagree with your standpoint about them. You stated that they didn't want to do it. They weren't into it. I completely disagree with that. And there was the one scene where they showed him taking the mic off saying, "Am I done?" I think you seem to interpret that as like he wanted out of there. He didn't like it. I think he just knew how awkward he was on live camera.
Maybe that was it.
Because they showed the clip that stuck out to me. They showed after the live part was done,
Someone from his team.
Maverick came in to Jim Gray and handed him another list of questions
Gave him like a phone.
so that they could keep recording for LeBron's website.
Yes.
So I think LeBron and his crew were 100% all about this thing.
I think hindsight, he regrets it. Because the image, because when he announced his next two teams, he did it totally different. Like when he went to L.A., it was just like a quick like blurb, like, boop, here I'm going, I'm out of here. But yeah, the vibe I got was they knew about it. They tried to get that. They tried to pay for the hour from ESPN. Then they said they wanted it for free
Yeah.
because they knew they were going to get the coverage, and they thought, we're doing ESPN. That's the vibe I got. We're doing ESPN a service here. But then the whole he did the buffet dinner with like Kanye, and then was it Kanye?
Kanye
Yeah.
was
Oh, yeah,
there,
right. Yeah, right.
And then
before.
Kanye was,
Yeah.
I don't know. Hindsight, it was a horrible move. It was really stupid and conceited. He probably shouldn't have done it. I think he knows that as much as you dislike him. But
I think it just made for an extremely awkward.
it was
Hour
very
of
awkward
TV.
because they gave him an hour. We didn't need an hour.
No.
No, like, I think they showed on. I think when they showed it in the documentary, because they started at like 9:00, and I think that's exactly what time the actual show started that he announced it. Like they showed him announcing it at the same exact time he did. It was like 9:28.
It was
Or
just so.
something.
It
It
was,
was
just
weird.
weird. Like all the questions they were asking him. Like it would be. I don't know. I think in hindsight he regrets it, and that's why he went with. I think it was Sports Illustrated did an article, right, to go back to Cleveland. I'm
Yeah,
coming
I
home,
think so.
Yes.
and then the just released a quick statement.
Yep. So, I don't know where I'm going with that, but
All right.
I
At least
think
you watch it.
I did.
I got to watch the McGuire stuff.
Yeah. I'm glad you finally watched that.
It's about
I
damn
watched
time.
it for him as well.
Apparently, yeah. So
I'm pretty sure it was very black and white, but at the end of it, you agree that he flat out admitted he did steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
To me,
there was
that's
no
almo-
question.
To me, that's almost the most interesting part of that is finally somebody just says, yeah, I did this, instead of making up excuses,
yeah.
trying to hide it, anything
Yeah.
like that.
I forget. Was it Mark Grace? I think Mark Grace was in it, right? I think that's what it was.
Yep.
And there was a pitcher. Oh, it was Dempster, I think. No. Who was a pitcher with the Cubs? There was a pitcher.
Kerry Wood.
Wood. He's like, there was a time, like in the dugout, we were just thinking, it doesn't matter what you throw Sosa right now, it's leaving the park.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's going.
I mean, my stance is still firm. Steroids doesn't help you hit it out of the ballpark.
Well, right. But yeah, they said he was just hitting the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, when
And
you're
he-
hot, you're hot.
Yeah, because I forget now. Sosa, he ended up hitting, what, 66?
6 that season.
So he broke the record. It's just that
Yeah.
McGuire hit 70. Like, it's.
I mean, that season started a 4-season stretch where he had mid-60s. So
Yeah.
3 out of 4 seasons, he broke
And I
Maris's
forgot.
mark.
I was gonna bring. I have a 24 karat gold McGuire 62 home run card, and I was gonna bring it. And I forgot.
I want to see that.
I'll bring it next week.
I want to see that. Probably not worth anything until he goes in the Hall of Fame, which
Right.
probably won't happen until these old heads get over it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anything else, boys?
No. I think
Good
that's
episode. I felt like you got a
all
lot off my chest. I feel
Yeah.
better. Thank you for the therapy session.
No
Sorry
problem.
for venting.
We should have had a couch over here for you.
Next time. Next time. All right, gentlemen. Until next time.
All right.